Today on Al's Anime Review is Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Every year I follow a tradition of watching this film on Halloween. I'm not sure why exactly, maybe because the first time I saw it was on Halloween, or maybe I just needed something to do to celebrate the holidays since I lost interest in dressing up and asking for candy, and instead dress up and hit on scantily clad women. But nonetheless, seeing as how it's Halloween, I should try and do a review of the anime I watch every year around this time. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust is about D. He is a half-vampire who is hired to hunt down and kill other vampires for money. He winds up being hired by some rich guy whose daughter was kidnapped by some evil vampire. We don't really get why he's evil, and given his actions later in the film, we are led to question if he is at all. But everyone, including D himself, acknowledges he's a bad guy. Well, what exactly did he do? We kind of need something to dislike him over, other than kidnapping a maiden. I mean, that's kind of what vampires do, isn't it? Can't really get mad at them for that. So, while blushing virgin number 264 is kidnapped, D goes after them in a wily adventure, leading him through exotic locales like creepy gothic castle, creepy gothic town circus mercenary thing, creepy gothic deserts, creepy gothic forests, creepy gothic bridges, and the Old West. Yes, it seems the Japanese have found yet another way to mix spaghetti western with anime. There are a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly moments throughout the film. There are as many gun standoffs as there are epic sword battles. For some reason, it's the future, where people ride cyborg horses instead of cars. Again, western. And vampires are dwindling because they are, dwindling. There's some vague estimation that they're being overhunted, but it's not really talked about in the film. You would think D would do something about that, but I guess he is just too busy pwning everything that it doesn't much matter. I suppose him and his vampire father have some sort of past as well, but the movie doesn't focus on that, and it really shouldn't. This is about a day in the life of our hero, and he has a pretty righteous and kick-ass day. Fighting a variety of evil creatures and competing against a rival gang of vampire slayers who are just as diverse as his enemies. Our bad guy Meyer Link and Please Don't Rape Me, hint hint, are alright characters. I at least really like the actors performing them. If an actor is good enough, he can make you care about anybody, and that was the case here. Skin-tight jumpsuit is okay too. A little bit there, but no more than needs to be for us to relate to the character and follow along with her. She at least talks, which is more than D ever does. He barely says anything through the whole film, and this really is all about him, isn't it? I guess he just lets his sword talk for him, and it does a pretty good job, I have to admit. The character that really steals the show, though, is D's right hand. This guy is just awesome. I love every piece of dialogue he says, and he's just absolutely hilarious. I loved this character, and wish this type of thing was in more anime. Not talking right hands, obviously. I got enough of that with Midori days. But just a very funny, nihilistic character that can break the tension of a situation and speak the mind of our silent protagonist. This movie's pretty good, but I would not have understood, nor cared as much as I did about D, had his right hand not been there to help translate a few things. I may rip on Vampire Hunter D for some of its zany concepts and splashing together of random elements, but that really is all part of what makes it good. Every voice actor is very talented, especially the right-hand guy, and animation is very impressive. A style often imitated, but never duplicated. Music just flows with every scene, and I wouldn't mind finding a soundtrack. But thankfully, it doesn't overpower the gorgeous visual style. Action scenes run the gambit of bloody and awesome, kick-ass and epic swordplay, to just somebody holding a gun for 5 minutes and calling it an action scene. It's a mixed bag that, again, all work in the film's favor. I really like Vampire Hunter D, and it will appeal to just about anybody, not just anime fans. For being an overall great film with a great story, pretty and varied visuals, interesting characters, unique setting and creatures, as well as having a haunting sound and atmosphere, Vampire Hunter D gets a 5 out of 5.